Set. So what voice? Garzan, let's go bowling. Let's see who's gonna get bowled out in this one. What up? Look at this, dude. We're playing some Kawasan in a Delhi mirror. All right. These two big boys are getting experimentational. It's going to be Marine Lord in the red, Lenok in the blue. Playing as a Civ that we don't really see very much on this map, actually. I think this is probably the least represented Civ on Kawasan, at least from the weekend that I can recall. We primarily saw HRE, Rus, Mongols, maybe an occasional English. But really, no Delhi. So kind of intrigued to see what they've got in mind. My baby is crying, so hopefully this game isn't too long, because I think I need to go check on her. But let's see how they're going to do, because like this one is always fun, man. I love that Marine Lord and Lenok scrim together so frequently. They do it a lot, actually. I remember in the build-up to Golden League, in the final weeks, beginning of Road to Wallow, I could frequently find them scrimming away. Marine Lord tended to run away with a lot of those matchups, but I think Lenok learned a lot. I think that's the thing I love about Lee, is like this guy has had him at the top, right? Like he was one of the best players in StarCraft. And yet, you know, he kind of humbles himself here. He's willing to admit that he's not there, right? He's not top on the charts. He's not dominating everyone. He has earned well from being a competitive player, but there's no doubt that like those days were long in his past, right? And he's got to try and recover that. And the way you recover that is kind of just by humbling yourself, realizing you're not the best and facing off against the best. And I think there's no doubt in people's minds right now that Marine Lord is, I'd say, the #1 player. I think it's fair to say #1 player right now. BC has a little bit more consistency, but I think the big thing that sticks in people's eyes right now is Marine Lord won Golden League. And that was the most recent S-tier tournament. Oh, that's my co-caster, Freya, for the evening. Don't know if you guys can hear that. Hello. All right. Don't worry, girl. We'll make this our last one. So, with that in mind, I'm kind of curious to see how both these guys approach the Delhi because, well, for a start, Lenok, I don't really get to see him play Delhi much. It's very rare, actually, to catch him playing the Delhi. And for Marine Lord, he's been on record in an interview saying that he thinks that this is the worst Civ for Feudal right now. There's no Civ that suffers more or struggles to find a way in Feudal more than the Delhi do. So I guess one way you can make them work is when the opponent's Delhi as well. And I want to see if one of them's going to think about going into the Tower of Victory. In fact, I'm so eager to find out that I'm literally speeding it up. Both of them have played on the docks on separate spawns. Because notice in this spawn of Kawasan, they spawned on opposite sides slightly. So they're less likely to contest. Sometimes Kawasan will spawn both players on the same side like this. So they're more likely to conflict on the same site. Speaking of site, a holy site of types. Dome of the Faith is going to be built up first by Lenok. Marine Lord lagging a bit behind on the gold gathering. Still curious, though. It is just going to be Dome of Faith. So no one looking to get fruity, no one looking to get frisky or different here. It's just standardized build. However, a dot coming out early from Lenok. And nope, that doesn't work, Lee. Did you forget which Civ you're up against? It's the Delhi, my friend. You never get that for free. I appreciate the ambition. The attempt was respectable coming out from Lenok there, but that's going to be a half-complete dock. I actually love that he leaves it half-complete. The logic here now is Marine Lord has to park ships here to guard against the possibility of it completing. And you can say, oh yeah, but he's missing out 150 wood. Like, he could use that somewhere else. No, it's still fine. He just needs to time this right. But the problem is he might have timed this wrong. Marine Lord actually scouts him out, moves out, and this is going to be a big fat fail. Lenok has to back away now. Or he's going to lose all the villagers. Oof. Just about gets away with it. More idle time forced out. He needs to get rid of the scout. If the scout goes down, then I think Lenok can sneak this. But as long as the scout is in contention, this is never going up. I wouldn't be surprised if Marine Lord... Wait, what? Oh, he made the scout away! Wait, what? Marine Lord? Well, for a guy who's like bragged about as the king of micro, that was a little bit whoopsie-daisy right there. And straight away the Dow being built. Oh, Marine Lord did not want to be stuck in this. Now he has no choice. He has to invest in defenses on the sea in his own lake. The cool thing about this for Lenok is it means that actually his own lake is more or less a freebie. Marine Lord will have to consolidate forces in his safe lake, his home lake, before he tries to take it away from Lenok. That means he's going to get a lot more safe farm, while Marine Lord could have this awkward situation where the first Dow comes out and it just starts sniping down these fishing boats. First thing first, though. Going to try and snipe down the scout. Unable to do so, but you can see these fishing boats have to back up. A lot of idle time is going to be forced out, and because he's only got one Dow out, he won't quickly sink Leenox. As long as Leenox keeps peeling back towards the safe point, the repair point. Like this choice by Marine Lord. He's going to have a lot of idle time on his fishing boats, but he really has no choice here. He has to do this. Scouts, in the meantime, are going to come out to try and start sniping down that dock. Horsemen also arriving. Meanwhile, Leenox a lot slower in his build-up here, going towards the racks. But this is going to give an edge to Marine Lord. I think he got a little bit too greedy. Once he got this dock down, Leenox felt a bit too content about land. Or rather, it feels like he forgot about land. He's got the second Dow out. And that's exactly why he's neglecting land. Like, he's going up to 3 Dows. All right, Marine Lord might be in trouble. If he can't get rid of the dock, he's going to lose his own fishing. It should, in theory, be impossible because he can just emergency repair up each Dow. But the issue now for Marine Lord is he has to double down on Dows on his home lake. And you see that already. He has to go for a second. You have to go for a third. If he doesn't match the count, he's not going to kill off Leenox quick enough. And the concern is that Leenox is reaching a count where if he has the blacksmiths behind this as well, like he'll be able to snipe down fishing boats pretty much straight away with 3 of these Dows. I like this choice by Marine Lord. He's going to wrap around. The bad news is Leenox already got the Dow up, so he can't torch down the home dock. Damn. That's so infuriating. He can at least stop the Sacred Site capture, so no gold trickle coming in for Lee. But Leenox, there's no denying that he's a mile ahead on his way towards Castle Age here. And once Castle Age is achieved, one bag luck can end Marine Lord's naval ambitions on this lake. Lee also now just getting a few spearmen out. You notice that he's budgeting as much as possible. Marine Lord has invested a lot more in military and land, and he's invested the same in terms of navy. And all the while, this idle time just quickly is adding up. Looks like he's going to finally be able to start sinking the ships. He knows he has to commit. He just can't dilly-doddle about it anymore. He has to full all in. But it's a lot of idle time, and Leenox, probably with a crafty smile on his face, has to be content with what happened here. However, the on-land reaction is that he feels he needs more force. So instead of making his way up, he's going to now start sidestepping into Horseman himself. We're in for a prolonged feudal. And it looks like in the meantime, Leenox is going to try to secure the sacred sites. I like this wall up. It's going to beat Marine Lord to the punchline. You see that one spearman is not going to be able to do much to stop this. In the meantime, it's going to be a 5 villager pull down the center. And it looks like, is he planning to drop an outpost near the dock? Kind of curious on that one, actually. What? How did I not think of this sooner? I mean, this is actually really big brain. Like, Marine Lord's brain is swelling so big right now that it's cracking his skull. Like, think about what he's just done here, guys. Look at all the berries. Oh, so Marine Lord's like, oh no, you took away my fishing for a moment, but what if I had unlimited berry? Sailor Magnifique right here. 7 berry stacks, and he's the only... Make that 8, actually, and he's the only one playing for them right now. And it's a secondary TC. So he's going to inflate his eco in terms of villager count. He's going to inflate it in terms of food income. And it makes sense when you think about it. These deep water fish are not forever. Like, you can only scale them to so much before you deplete them. These berries are going to last a lot longer. And Marine Lord will eventually have the flexibility to do other things for those villages as well. Leenox, of course, as a result of this build, Lee does have the tech up first. It is going to be into the House of Learning. Marine Lord will lag behind, but I'm curious to see what the build's going to be. I'm expecting a House of Learning as well. Anything else feels too greedy. Meanwhile, Sacred Sites, Leenox controls them. Marine Lord is going for the combat defenders. I didn't want to curse it by saying it because we don't see it frequently, but I actually like this build. He's got stone outcropping in the center. He can actually inflate his stone at home and via this one to a point where he can go for a double keep drop. That double keep drop can sneak into the base of Lee. So Leenox needs to make sure he keeps military count up to defend. Right now, they are neck and neck in that department. Marine Lord looks like he will lead to the punchline at this rate. 4 more workers at it, so they're going to be neck and neck on their tech timing. I'm curious to see what's going to be coming next. It's double archery range for Marine Lord, and he hasn't been building any archers. He built 5, so this could be the Tower Elephant build. Interesting choice if so, considering that Lenok has been building spears and horsemen a decent amount. We'll have to see. We'll have to save up. He has got the inflated gathering rates on those berries. That's something that's drying up right in the base of Lee. He's on his final berry patch. And he has got the fishing, but like we already highlighted, Lenok wasn't able to block Marine Lord indefinitely. He recovered his fishing, but he's getting the double up in the center. I mean, it's double greed, but it works. Damn Lord, almost done with siege engineering. I think he's going to try to ram down these docks. Makes a lot of sense as well. I mean, you can't deal with them unless you've got land force to engage. Lenok trying to inflate his numbers by recruiting sheep to the cause is not exactly an effective war tool, I find. Well, on the north side, decap does come out. Nice move there by Marine Lord. That was a clutch play. Okay, it wasn't clutch, but it was smart. The whole point is that otherwise, these 2 spearmen are going to block you out, and the Sacred Site time will continue to tick down. Lenok is the one with the walls on both sides, so he has the means to actually sneak in here and bring more troops to keep the Sacred Site timer going. But now it's a decap. So that resets the clock and moves Lenok away from one of his win conditions. Meantime, Marine Lord is winning in a different way. Not just the TC, but also now the relics being picked up. Speaking of those relics, Wallow comes out, and not quite. Lancer got the final strike out. However, it did cost him 2 horsemen, so a good trade actually for Marine Lord. 240 resources versus paying either 150 or 90. Well, now with his Lancers out first, is going to start marching into Marine Lord's economy. Slow response coming out from the Frenchman. And we talked about the possibility of elephants for Marine Lord, but Lenok is the one going for it instead. Interesting choice here. Tower Elephants plus the Lancers. And now playing towards those central berries, man. This is where things are going to get interesting. It's way too big of an eco upside to ignore. Both of them are going to fight tooth and nail over this. Man-at-arms right now, so damn tanky. TC feeling a little bit irrelevant. Marine Lord barely having an eco lead anymore. Just a few Lancers that he still hasn't cleaned up, proving problematic. It's like the crossbowmen are able to get through the last of them, though. This way now he needs to start regrouping and moving forward. The problem that I see right now for Marine Lord is he has no walling. He has no control on the flanks. Lenok in the meantime. First elephant ready to party. Marine Lord lacking the force to overwhelm it. Even these few Lancers won't feel that strong. Of course, elephants do die quicker to melee damage now, something to consider. Courtesy of the nerfs that came out, they got more ranged armor, which gave them effective HP against ranged units, but they die fast against melee, especially when you park them on the spot like this. Elephant versus knight. Or elephant versus horse. Which would win? Well, clearly, the horse functions like a wolf, and they group up on you like a pack. So wolf. Wolf wins. Middle finger's the lion. That's kind of the metaphorical equivalent there, right? I mean, that is just that was a bad trade, actually, for Lenok. It started off good, but the elephant was not being microed, and I hope he's not going to micro like that in the future. Or it's going to be grim. It's being grim. This dude, Baglers, I mean, we call them Badlers for a reason. This looks really pathetic. It idled the eco. That's the good news for Lenok, but heavy investment, he's going to lose it. And now, look at the villages he's going to lose. Oh my god, Lenok, what? Dude. Your favorite Korean Age of Empires player only went and decided that textiles was overrated. What? Dude, Lenok deserves to be punished for that. He didn't get textiles. I am perplexed. I don't know how you justify no textiles. Dude, it takes 25 seconds. Don't be a cheapskate. Protect your villages. Click that button, sacrifice one village. Dude, it's down to 12 seconds right now. Oh, man. You would have saved 3 villages there, at least. Instead, you lose 3 more. You're going to lose even more because you're still not researching it. It takes 12 seconds. The gluttony here is absurd. Marine Lord will back off the moment. His crossbow's getting counted out. The spears and archers arriving. Bagler now coming out from Marine Lord and the repair rate. Marine Lord says, I have something you don't have. A team! Second Bagler now as well. I mean, the problem with this is Lenok is now losing on fleet count. Like, he's lost more into this, right? And he's investing just as much as Marine Lord is. So Marine Lord, what should have turned out to be a bad trade because you've spent so much on these Baglers, is getting better and better. Every time, Lenok's like, I'll just buy one more. I'll just buy one more. Yeah, just one more. That's going to be fine. And someone's asking, like, why no spin on ship? The reason is that the fishing boats are surrounding it. So if you spin to win, then a bunch of your shots are going to go into fishing boats instead of Baglers. So what Lenok was trying to do was just kill the Bagler as quickly as possible. It clearly did not work out. Lenok, something that could work out is his military is getting pretty fat right now. A lot of skulls on the front line. Not many elephants, but it's looking to fix that fast. And now Trebuchet coming out. That's why this keep is here, by the way. Marine Lord is trying to stop him from rushing through. However, there is still a gap that he can pursue. The reason he will not is this. Double Bagler is pretty badass here. 70 damage per ballista, not to mention the 50 damage from the flurry of arrows. You have no choice but to go south side, and south side is blocked by the keep. That's buying time, baiting him in. Naganel waiting to play from Marine Lord. He's got the C-Chop ready to start pumping out the spring onwards, and once he has them, he can easily just wrap in and take out the counterweight Trebuchet, especially the way that Lenok's getting distracted. The Lancers broke past. Marine Lord and Heavy Cavalry. Guess what comes next? Sorry, let me fix that. Marine Lord and Heavy Cavalry, and his opponent not having textiles playing the deli. Guess what comes next? Woohoo! Bloodbath time. Lenok, how have you still not got textiles? This is hurting me right in the deli. I feel like Padme. You're going down a path I simply can't follow. The no textiles path. I just can't. We're 20 minutes in. This is a sin. At which stage do we pull Lenok up for war crimes? Huh? These villagers are out dying in the cold because he won't give them a piece of wool to wrap around their genitals. Brutal. Spring. Yo. Oh, but Lenok. Okay, he's gonna react. Good. If he had gotten one trebuchet there, I'm full face palming like that. This is rough right now. Man, Lenok is struggling to deal with Marine Lord. It looks like he panic reacted and spammed out a crap ton of houses because he was pop cap for so long. And oh no! Dude, Marine, there's no way. There's no way you get away with that. No way! Is he actually? Dude, they're both distracted. That was the freest snipe on a gold vein I have ever seen, and yet neither of them flinched. Clash underway. Lenok now rushing in. Plenty of man-at-arms to dive in with here. Marine Lord needs to stabilize with some static defenses. Keep starting to be repaired, but the problem is it's going to take way too long to repair here. The elephants are trying to assist, but the problem is the man-at-arms so tanky, and the sheer number Lenok has. He finally realized after so long that he could push in like this. Marine Lord, in the meantime, is still trying to raid into the eco, but the bigger detail is the keep is breached, the Baglers are bypassed, and Lenok now has a way into Marine Lord's base. Elephant drive-by continues, but pursuit given quickly, and you're just seeing the impact. That heavy hit, the raw HP, has struck them hard. A lack of melee armor makes them too easy to drop here. Makes them a pretty rough investment if you do not optimize to protect them. Speaking of protection, that's exactly what Marine Lord is now going to be lacking down the center. He's going to get cleaned up. The remaining trebuchets taking out all the forward infrastructure. Marine Lord now forced to go defensive with keeping his own base. He does at least have textiles, something that Lenok should really look into. Right now, he's too busy having a look inside Marine Lord's base. Let's get a feel for things. The lay of the land here. start to strike at those villagers more. And Marine Lord, after all this time building up his ecos, finding it shrinking a little bit, still with a clear and dominant lead though. However, he should be reduced to 1 TC soon. Do you guys, have you had your coffee break? Is it time to get back to work yet? Lads? Boys. 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 I'm done with them. Hit the delete key. I don't care what happens to them anymore. They're never moving. Marine Lord is so distracted by the fight. He still has not moved those lances. But he will move in on an elephant. Should be able to bring it down. Oh, the clutch heals. Oh, like Mother Teresa. That's not going to be enough, though. Too many arrows. He didn't stop moving the scholars. Frustration. Marine Lord actually stabilizing. After all that, Lenok has lost a lot of his military force. They're neck and neck, but Marine Lord's still clearly up on the villages. And now they go back to work. Hello, Lancers. They're done sampling delicious French coffee, and now they want to sample delicious deli blood. That is a nasty hit. In fact, if we look at the income for Lenok, that is most of his gold income. And if Lenok doesn't realize straight away, bye-bye elephant count. Because he won't keep escalating it. And he needs to. In fact, Lee, oh my god, he doesn't know. He actually didn't know. He didn't realize. There was such a delay on that, he never reacted to it. So all the villagers go down. He's not gathering gold anymore. He's still trying to push elephants. But this is now where Marine Lord can get the number advantage, because he can keep affording elephants. Like, he's gathering gold. He also has the passive gold, remember. He picked up a decent amount of relics in the end. I think it was it a 2-3 split? Let's see, did Lenok? Okay, so Lenok got 2. They both got 2. The other one was never picked up. And speaking of Lenok, his base seems to be under l'attaque. Yet he still keeps pushing forward. However, the elephant count isn't as good for him as it once was. You see Marine Lord is starting to stabilize somewhat. Wait, Marine Lord? Freest elephant kill we've seen all game, and we've seen some funny ones. I like how the elephant was like, wait, can I be one of you? Can I join your team now, please? No. Sieging continues. And the crazy part is, like, Lenok is winning the stage battle, but Marine Lord is winning everything else. Lenok is throwing away a lot of eco, a lot of straggler troops, all this kind of stuff, because he's not reacting to the raids. He's so tunnel visioned on what he's doing outside of Marine Lord's base for good reason, but it means that M-Lord is slowly chipping away at the beast here. See the power of this home blades, man. Villagers going down so quick, especially when you do not have textiles. And remember that Marine Lord is rebooming. He spent a lot of stone to keep these keeps up for good reason. Notice this little symbol here? Marine Lord, he did get village fortresses, so he has 3 TCs worth of production here. Make that 4, because remember, he has Compound Defender, so it's pretty damn cheap to do this. Trebs are still, however, unanswered. Marine Lord at any stage could just get a group of about 10 to 15 horsemen and snipe these out. And actually, in terms of like mathematical numbers, is a good trade. Village in the meantime. I'm going to shift to the south side. Looks like he's rebooting his economy down here. Lenok still with the military mass, but maybe needs to go a bit faster. The trebuchet count hasn't escalated from 3 in quite a while. However, the keeps don't exactly last long either. The elephant count is getting more healthy for Lenok in the meantime. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen a transition into horsemen yet. Then again, Marine Lord's income is pretty bad when it comes to food. Like, he drained the deep water fish, and remember that he was reliant on the berries. So I think what we're learning here is if you want to win, you play berries. Because this is looking pretty Lenok up now. I think the issue for Marine Lord is he was forced to transition into farms. And even once he has those farms online, they are simply inferior to berries. 30% upgrade on these berry gathering rates. And yes, you know, it's 0.66 compared to a 0.75, so the farms have a head start. But afterwards, the berries are just better. Like, they exceed by about an extra 0.1 or so. That's per second, by the way, on food. And then multiply that by the numbers, and then also consider the investment of 75 wood per farm that Marine Lord is making just to try and get a worse gathering rate than the berries. Berries, which, by the way, there's still 3 or 4 patches worth of. Lenok has got a lot of time left in him. He doesn't want to wait around. Instead, he's starting to dive in. Trebuchets continue to siege, but it looks like there was a snipe coming out. Few of them were picked off. Good wraparound by Marine Lord, and this is the risk for Lenok. The deeper he goes, the more exposed he becomes, but right now, he's trying to expose the underbelly of the beast. He dives in onto the elephants. Pursuit being given, and the villagers, oh, the villagers. I don't know what they think they're doing, but they've changed their mind fast there. You do not want to be fighting elephants here. Marine Lord, at the end of the day, though, is still holding on. You can see Lenok. Wait, does he know? I think he knows. He's like, wait a second. What's happening over here? Marine Lord will look to move away. However, Lenok, I think he just threw the game a little here. That dive-in just cost him his last trebuchet. And the keeps are still alive. Lenok jumped the gun. He became impatient. As soon as he lost the trebuchets, you just saw him lose his crap, basically. And just like that, Lenok has lost all momentum here. Aye, aye, aye. I mean, that's one way to throw away a lead. I think Lenok is just a mile behind now. Marine Lord's eco is shrunk as well, yes, but like the hit to your military, the loss of siege, and the fact that you're playing village fortresses means that Marine Lord is going to be better off. Remember, back in the base of Lenok, he's still only 1 TC. And they still both have their own home lakes, but those home lakes are more or less drained. And I know I said that the berry gathering was a big up, but if you talk about scalability, like Marine Lord is going to have more farms than you have berry workers in the long term. For the moment, your gathering rates are better, but the amount of elephants you threw away, the amount of siege you threw away, I do feel like Lenok just threw away control of this game. And one thing I'll give him credit for is he still does have these elephants in the backside of the base, so he hasn't lost all the military yet, but with the elephants coming to respond, it's just a matter of time now. Meanwhile, Marine Lord continues to inflate these farmland areas, gathering on the wood, gathering the north side. That might be the limiting factor at this rate, actually, for Marine Lord. Limited wood. Long-term could hurt him. The problem is you're looking at about another 20 minutes for that to really start to sting. So Lenok has to stabilize and recover across these next 20 minutes to delay the game. Right now, though, it looks like Lenok is trying to end the game. The danger of which is you're playing up against keeps. You've sniped some of them down, but boiling oil is being researched. It's just a matter of time before you end up against this lethal research. In fact, I'm kind of surprised that Marine Lord isn't prioritizing it right now. So maybe there is an opportunity at this rate. Some people point out that Marine Lord wasn't using scholars. You're correct. He didn't build that many. In fact, you can see he's basically got none. In fact, the limited ones he's got, yeah, it's just these two lads coming out to heal now. Considering they've drained each other, this is where he's going to try to heal, but that wasn't his priority. His priority was elsewhere. It was the villager boom and the disposable forces. If anything, he got forced to go elephants as a reaction to Lenok's play. And it did put Lenok ahead, but Lenok, with this assault, needs to get a lead because right now Marine Lord is rebuilding his eco and he's doing it fast. You can see him split off the troops. I'm not the biggest fan of what he's done here. I get what he's trying to do. The whole idea is the spearmen will now distract while the elephants reach the eco. But now you've just given a pinch opportunity. Like, Marine Lord can now wrap towards the elephants and clean them up for free. Alternatively, you can go after the spears and wipe them out. Look at that. Snipes down the dock. But the amount of troops that are going to be lost, the hailed arrow fire coming in. Elephants now marching north side. And the march away from Lenok is slow. Not to mention the fact that Lenok never got force march. Wow. You guys know me. I like force march. You are 32 minutes into the game. You have zero excuses for no force march. He forgot about it. He 100% forgot about it. And now, as a result, these spearmen that otherwise would be lethal are irrelevant. The reason that Force March is so important here is if he had it, he could have easily pinched 3 Tower Elephants straight away. Instead, his whole army is going to be butchered on the north side, and Marine Law will take minimum casualties from this. Meanwhile, south side, raid in. Did do a little bit of eco damage here, but ultimately not really the impact he was looking for. And although these farms are being harassed, they still stand. And let's keep in mind, yeah, there we go. That's what I want to see. He needs to take the farms out because he's got an uncomfortable stage ahead of him. The berries are all but gone. So now, Leenock also has to make a farm transition. Please get Force March. If you're going to rebuild spears, get Force March. I mean, Marine Lord doesn't really care about it, right? He's not relying on spears. That's the difference. He even got it, is the crazier part. The guy who's not using spears, who's not using infantry, has Force March. The one who is using infantry doesn't. And maybe it sounds nitpicky to people, but it's not. It's a huge deal. So for those wondering, if you use Force March with spearmen, they move at 2.5 tiles a second. For comparison, horsemen are 1.88. There is nothing faster in the game. And yet he doesn't have it. Cheeky war elephants. Dude, this is where you're going to lose the war elephants, though. That's too many tower elephants. He needs to get the hell out. Look at the difference in blobbing right now. It's 10 tower elephants for Marine Lord. Meanwhile, it's just 2 for Leenock. You can see the impact of these food sources drying up. Like, he just can't keep the numbers going. In fact, look at the income per minute. That stings. Leenock. He's at a third of the numbers for Marine Lord, and this is the difference maker now. Marine Lord scaled. He set himself up for longevity. Leenock, yeah, he set himself up for short-term success. The problem is the way that he optimized this, the way that he tried to go about this, the peel of north and south raids, I think it threw the game away. I actually think this is Marine Lord's game now to lose. Meanwhile, Horseman. Oh, how we've been here before. Leenock. What is it with these raids always being so good? I don't know how many hours Leenock's been online today. I feel like this is the type of game that just feels exhausting afterwards, though. You feel like you're losing economy everywhere and are unable to react to it. Might be the time to, I don't know, go have a quick shower, because this felt sweaty, but also felt exhausting. Oh my god, this is painful. So many dead villagers. And remember, Marine Lord is no longer pressured, and he's still got 3 TCs worth of production. Yeah, this is the beginning and the end for Lee. I don't actually think he can recover from this again. I think he's had way too many shots at it, and they failed too often. Leenock agrees. This will be his final attempt. Unlimited Rams! This is why we love Leenock, dude. He's like, well, this game is chalked, so we might as well give it a memorable ending, right? The problem is the elephants. The elephants can just kill these. Remember, they have decent melee damage. Speaking of elephants, they're regrouping. And Leenock, wouldn't it be good right now if you had Force March? Wouldn't it be so good if you had Force March? No? Okay. He can't even attack click efficiently because of the man-at-arms. That's such a good move from Marine Lord. He pinches 2 elephants, but that's all he's going to get. He can be cleaned up now. Go, go, go! Oh, no. I think Leenock is screaming something that sounds like go, go, go. Oh, Lee. I love your games, buddy. I mean, this was quite the lead to lose, but the style with which you approached this endgame, no one can deny. No one else would have tried that many rams at the end to try and close this out, but it has been closed, and it has been closed against him. It was a good attempt by Leenock, but not this one. This one was terrible. But the earlier attempts were really good. Like, I actually think that where it went wrong is when he started to peel different directions, And so the first one was when he dove the tower elephants underneath the keep and abandoned the trebuchets. They get sniped. The second one is when he wrapped Spearman north and Elephant south and didn't have force march. I think those two elements together lost him this game. More so than any other thing. Like, there's other elements of this game that Marine Lord was doing really well. We don't really need to highlight too much the amount of successful raids, but we could if you want. But overall, like, those two key details lost him military mass at a critical point, and now it's just a slow GG in favor of Marine Lord. We're going to speed it 2 times. Because, of course, the issue with the GG against elephants is it takes a while to arrive. But once they do arrive, like, there's no defense anymore. Leenock has been heavily disarmed at this stage. He's even booting trebuchets. Leenock lives in a special world, guys. That's all I can say right now. I don't know why he's booting trebuchets. I do know that he's almost done building the remaining elephants are just trying to defend. But you see how impossible it is. I mean, he's still losing eco. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Marine Lord is just typing just GG already. Like, this is, we're done here. Oh, man. Credit to him, though. Like, that was a really good play of Compound Defender. Compound Defender usually isn't that effective this late in the game, but the delayed timing on springing up those keeps was pretty clutch for Marine Lord. It stabilized his game when he should have been losing, and delayed Leenock long enough, it seemed like Leenock became frustrated. And with that frustration, a little bit impatient. And that impatience, too many opportunities for Marine Lord to turn the game.